I like to eat it anywhere between an hour and an hour and a half before training. Especially now, probably I'd like to be an hour and a half before training because now I'm eating carbs or I'm drinking carbs intra-workout. So I don't want them to really overlap too much. So an hour and a half, we train at 12 and right now it's 10:37. So this is a perfect time right now to eat and let it digest. 94 grams. So I'm gonna get a ton of shit for this. I'd eat a ton of them. Yeah, sometimes 5, sometimes 10. I don't know, just depends on the day. One thing that I like about the Rise protein too is that this one is actually flavored with PB2. So the peanut butter with the chocolate actually tastes like peanut butter. So don't look at Laura's butt here while I do this. I know that it's very distracting, but feast your eyes on the real gold right here. The real gold is my ability to weigh out 1.5 tablespoons without actually weighing it out. So we're about an hour and a half out of training chest and triceps today. I'm gonna get this meal down and then I'm gonna set up my pre-workout, intra-workout shake so that when I'm in the gym, I can stay fueled. What's up, Muscle and Strength? We are here today at Infamous. And now that you've seen what I eat pre-workout, it's time to work out. And I'm here with my trainer, Pastor Pump, AKA Carlos, and we're going to take you through a chest and tricep routine, LFG.
We always start with the fly motion because it gets that feel of what as you're pulling through. So when you go to a press, not only warmed up, but you got that feel of what you're trying to get with the fibers on the chest. He has a minor injury in the shoulder, so what we've been doing with our chest and shoulder exercises is trying to find ways to keep working hard without aggravating the injury. When something bothers you, we don't just keep pressing on it, we just find a way to work around it, we don't feel any discomfort. There's no reason to stop working out, just try to find ways you can keep going without making it worse than it already is. Favorite Smith machine there is right here.
This is my favorite one too. There's a big difference on how Smith machines feel. One, you don't feel like the bar is being outweighed by the pulley system. So there's no like resistance when you're going up and down. And it's vertical. So you don't have an incline or a decline like some of these other Smith machines have. This one's by far one of my favorites. Try to think of it like driving my elbow in so that my bicep hits my chest every time to squeeze each rep at the top. I mean, if you go too wide, it's very difficult to engage the full part of your chest on the top of the movement. So I narrow it down and I tuck my elbows just slightly, not all the way in, but I just tuck them in just slightly. So when I push up, I can really squeeze at the top part That's just the way that I think of it.
On the prep sets after the warm-ups, we don't go to failure. We just do like 6 reps just to get the feel as we add the weight. There we go.
Like a fly press, so you're coming down like a press, but as you're coming up, you're turning into like a fly movement with the pinkies essentially touching. But when you first start this movement, if you've never done it before, it's really awkward. The movement's really awkward. If you're not precise with the twist, you might get an imbalance on one side of your body. So it takes a lot of concentration, and it takes some time to learn. There's a learning curve.
Got it, come on, keep driving.
Now Carlos is gonna put me through a series of sets from our fly machine over here.
Yeah, we see the angle where we have the handles, and we keep it right through here. So we always get like the mid upper chest. So you get that angle right through here. If you sit the seat higher, if you come in, you know, depending on where you bring the handles, you'll feel a difference on the movement on the chest. So we like to get that upper chest because we're always working, so we're making sure we're nice and full right next to the clavicle. How heavy it gets, no matter how much you're struggling, always what I say is keep the bottle on top of your chest. If you love beer, bottle of beer, whatever you want to call it. You stay here and keep that chest up in here. It's not about touching your hands, it's about making sure you keep tension and squeezing the chest all the way through. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. You're not pushing with chest, you're pulling your arms across your body when you press. So you're not thinking just straight up and down, you're thinking of bringing your arms across. So the way the hammer strength is designed, it comes through so you can squeeze the chest the way you're supposed to do it. So it's a perfect angle, and I always like to finish the big body parts with a compound exercise. So we started with the fly to warm the chest up, we did some compound movements, then we did a pec deck, and then we're coming here and finishing off with a compound exercise as well. But on the machine it's safer because you can press here to failure and just kind of let it go when you're done. Without worrying like a bar, you know, where you have to stabilize it, you can push to failure and just let it go when you're done. Come on. Let's go.
So on our push days, since we're already stimulating the triceps from either chest or if we have a shoulder day, we just go ahead and take that pump that we got and that warm up from all those pushing movements and just burn out the tricep. So right now we're doing a set of rope push downs, warm up the elbow joint a little bit, and we're just gonna hit it hard now.
Come on. Go. Get it, hold it. I stole these from Jose Raymond. Watched him, and when you do like a regular skull crush with a bar, somebody puts a lot of torque on your elbows. When you get the dumbbells, you can't go as heavy, but it's a little more natural on the arm. So with the dumbbells, you come in and get a little twist on it, just like the rope when you do push down. So you're able to come in, get a nice natural range of motion with the triceps.
This machine, you usually don't find it in other gyms. You would have to bring in a bench to where the cables are to accomplish the same thing. So we're finishing off with an overhead pressing movement. This is great just at the very end. You're all gassed out already, and especially the fact that all that weight is gonna be pulling back on your tricep so that you can actually stretch the tricep at the end. So it's a great stretching movement to finish off with. Now that you've seen what I eat, how I train, I hope that you guys learned something. So make sure to subscribe below. Peace.